Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to Jive Tarot and your November 9 card spiritual. Yes, welcome to November. It just rolled right by, didn't it? Okay, so I'll be looking for your overall energies. Trying to see, what I'm looking for, what I'm looking at here with you. This is a collective read, so listen closely for your message. And let other people have their messages too. Yeah. Three of Cups. This could be regarding friendships. It could be regarding some sort of celebration or just relaxation, you know, somewhere where you stabilize your emotions or your emotional well-being, a little bit of self-care per se, right? Let's look. Oh, it's the Blasted Tower. All right, so on the back end of that, though, it's also kind of leading me to believe that maybe you should be seeking or could be seeking some sort of emotional stability in the wake of something detrimental, or that you could find something detrimental. Pick up some energies from people around you. Transformation at the bottom of the deck. So these are two major arcana. Yes, it looks like November's going to be a pretty big month for you, Sagittarius. So just hang in there. We'll get to it. Currently, I'm looking for the past, present, future. It's your card at the bottom of the deck. This must be it, right? Past, present, future from the Sagittarius. Mm. And there we go. It looks like, for the most part, you will mend very well throughout this month. There will be a little hiccup as far as it goes. Negative attitudes, negative thinking. Somebody, steps on your toe, per se. And you've got a little bit more to say. Help purge those energies, because this wasn't just something that had just happened. This was a red flag that had been ignored, something you had been kind of stuffing. Person that you're dealing with, apologetic, right? They're anxious and ready, but I think that it's more action oriented than emotional. They're about action. They're about trying to get you to do something, corral you in. Yes, they're apologetic, but only because they didn't mean to offend you, because you benefit them in one way, shape, or form. This is what I'm feeling. They understand your worth for others of you in the collective read. This is somebody that could be a family member, brother, sister. Oh, I do see. Okay, so your Ace of Wands just came out sideways on your Page of Cups. This is for the person that you're dealing with. Could be an Aries, right? With the Emperor right here. Could be a father figure. Could be just somebody that you share this emotional bond with, right? Could be somebody you're trying to share an emotional bond with. This could be like a give and take kind of feeling. They are more interested in the physical aspects of you than in the spiritual or emotional, right? They just wish you'd get over it. I hope this apology works, because, I kind of just thought about it. I thought about not doing it. I thought about doing it, bringing you roses, flowers, apologizing, something similar to that. Let's go ahead and look at your conscious and subconscious. Oh, and there you go. It's almost like you see the truth, you know the truth, you see the truth for what it is. Like subconsciously, you know what's going on. And you refuse to give any to this situation. Like you want them to go the extra mile, or you need them to go the extra mile. And it does look like they do that, right? with the Nine of Wands right here, and your recovery from the heartbreak, like it's mending already. So this is just a little hiccup, but it profoundly affects a lot more than you can see. Like you're just one player in this huge ordeal, right? Okay, how would you have handled it in the past? How might Sagittarius handle this in the past? All right. The Two of Wands in reverse. How is Spirit guiding you to handle it in the upcoming? Be a little bit more emotionally vulnerable, right? Whereas right now, it's almost like we're being hard, or we're trying to be hard. The Hierophant in reverse. Not necessarily leading by example either, are we? Let's get some clarifiers. It's like we're not really practicing what we preach. I want this from you, but in the time of testing, I do not give it, right? I expect it, but I don't give it. So this is quite interesting. You two could be like mirroring each other or have been together for a minute. The Nine of Wands in reverse. Okay, so in the past, y'all two had been quite close, right? With the Six of Cups, it's open-ended giving. It's loving. It's carefree almost. It's genuine. It's reciprocated. But something was lost here. Something had to have been let go. And I think that's what you're so drawn about with the King of Swords in reverse, right? Kind of angry or upset, overly so. Because the walls had been completely down with the Nine of Wands. Kind of like a last-ditch effort. I am giving my all because I don't expect to ever have to fight again or ever have to worry or struggle again. And now we find ourselves in this predicament of letting go, being angry, anxious. The person that you're dealing with, some of you, they will come out and apologize, make the conscious effort to apologize. Others of you, I don't see that necessarily happening. Now, in a little bit, we will get to the person that you're dealing with. We're going to pull cards for their subconscious, conscious, and how they're showing face. So do stick around for that. Three of Swords. Okay. So in the past, I think you would have just reverted, right? Accepted the heartbreak, accepted the loss, and just like gone back and tried to change, who you picked to trust, who you picked to play with, or who you picked to go on this date with, who you picked to help you decide between two paths in the road, your crossroads, right? Or if they had per se been a crossroads before this happening, because this happened, you automatically ditch and think that, oh, it must have been the other decision, the decision I didn't pick, the decision I didn't make. Let's go do that. Instead of just accepting that every path has limitations, every path has trials and tribulations, every path has differences of opinions. It's just how you handled them. And Sagittarius, it doesn't necessarily look like you're handling it or you used to handle it well. Spirit is guiding you to be just a little bit more emotionally vulnerable at this time. Not necessarily to others, because at this time you feel like that person, you can't be open with them. You can't tell them, you can't express your emotions to them. And that would be fine, right? Depending on your situation, that could be perfectly fine. But don't hide them from yourself either. Don't deny the fact that you have those emotions. With the Queen of Swords in your subconscious, it almost feels to me like this is going to be a lot easier this month than it has ever been before. You're able to discern the difference in the truth and how you feel or how you think, where outwardly you could be projecting some sort of anger or animosity and just letting it all go, right? And then consciously, I know I'm not giving to that situation anymore. And that is a fine path to take, depending on uh, your section of the collective for Sagittarius this month. But being emotionally vulnerable is a lot more of a practice kind of exercise, right? I don't need to be overly emotional. I don't need to be attention seeking. I don't need to be guilt tripping. I don't need to be gaslighting anybody. What I definitely need to do, though, is stop building those boundaries or regretting those boundaries and be just a little bit more in tune to how I feel emotionally. Get to know myself a little bit better. This is a perfect opportunity. And I think it helps you lead to something a little bit more quickly healing, right? It mends a little bit faster during this month of November. All right. So, and then I think that also judging a book by its cover or trying to force somebody into this could possibly be with the lack of emotion and the question on whether I should humble myself and apologize or not with the person that you're dealing with. Your anger and needing to let go helps you see that there's a possibility that you had been putting too much emotional expectation or expectation on something that wasn't anything more than a frivolous sex-based connection. You understand? Possibility. It's not for all of you. More on the Knight of Wands. That came right out, huh? Two of Cups in reverse. Yes. All right. So, kind of sticking to the original explanation of the Knight of Wands being here, that just because it's gotten intimate or it's gotten physical between you does not make it a good emotional, spiritual, mental fit. Doesn't make it your partner. Just because I'm attracted to something doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't just a lesson instead of my forever, right? Um, learning people's place learning your place in people's lives helps to extinguish a whole lot of unnecessary forest fires. This is Queen of Cups in reverse. Four of Wands in reverse. This is interesting. Yes. Okay, so sticking with the original explanation for the Queen of Cups in reverse, coupled with the Four of Wands, kind of leads me into a more solidified path of understanding that there's a possibility that there's nobody really to run to at this time, right? It's kind of, it doesn't really fit into any one category or specialized, stable action. This is something that you'd probably never really seen before or didn't really expect. It goes out of the comfort zone or out of the rules of expectation or what would have normally happened, right? So there's a reason why you feel very uncomfortable about opening up to family, friends, home, people that you live with. And that's because this is possibly something that you should look at of your own self. You know, I don't want to necessarily bring it up to anybody and make it sound like I'm doing any one of those things, three things from earlier: projecting, attention seeking, gaslighting, or whining, right? Being emotionally manipulative. I want to just look at the subject, face it for what it is, instead of adding other things that might break my heart, going ahead and just facing the core issue and then healing from it. And then thereby doing different, acting different, responding different to the same situations. Because in the past, you might have just, like I said, just chalked it up as a loss and been like, okay, well, I chose wrong then. Not necessarily, because like I said, every path comes with trials and tribulations. Every path comes with lessons. There's no right decision. There's just a decision. The universe is going to find you and give you those lessons no matter which path you chose. So stop being so hard on yourself and allow yourself to live just a little bit more. And I know, Sagittarius, look, well, I live like that. Yeah, I know. All right, the moon in reverse, the bottom of the deck says there, this is a divine opportunity. With it being a major arcana, this is a divine opportunity to go ahead and practice what you preach or be the change that you want to see in the world. The two bottom of the decks are the Hierophant in reverse and the moon in reverse. So there are some things being exposed at this time about how you might have necessarily handled it or how you expect other people to handle it. Time to step in line with that expectation. We cannot lead by words alone. We have to lead by example also. Be a little bit transparent, be available, and get on the front lines with the people, right? All right, now I want to look into the person that Sagittarius is dealing with. Mm. 3 cards for their subconscious, please. How are they at the deepest level? There's some sort of acceptance. There's some sort of humility, right? Let's pull the other cards before I start investigating. Mm. 2 of Pentacles in reverse. And the 3 of Swords in reverse. So at the deepest level, they are healing also. They're understanding that they're finally accepting the fact that maybe, they had too much going on. Maybe this was a little bit more than they could chew. Maybe they're doing the same exact thing, but whatever they are doing, they are in their subconscious, they are healing from their wounds, from the scar that this left, or past instances. They're learning a lesson too. Time to focus on yourself and learn yours. Don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about why you're worried about what they're doing. How about that conscious? Can I get 2 cards for the person that Sagittarius is dealing with? Their conscious mind, please. No. Story time. Damn it. Okay. Okay. So with the Hangman, the Sun, and the 7 of Swords, the only thing that comes to mind is you can't bring an old broom into a new dwelling, right? Kind of like bringing your problems with you. Dogmatic thinking or being stuck in an inability to change your mind or your perspective on during a new stage of life or a new beginning, right? Kind of like it'll deceive you. It'll distract you, bring things up that aren't necessarily. It's a little bit more. Also, I see the 10 of Cups. Interesting. With the moon in reverse, it's almost like they're starting to see that you'd be a lot happier by yourself too. Like y'all would be happier if y'all were apart. How about that conscious mind? Please, can I do that? King of Wands, they're kind of devoted to their path. They're secure in their actions. And justice. It seems fair and just and right to them. So in their conscious mind, they're very stuck, right? Not stuck. They're very confident and strong. Their mind is made up, basically. How are they showing face? King of Pentacles. They are very transparent. Their mind is made up. They're having to accept a certain amount of incompatibility with you, no matter how good things were in the past or how much they opened up to you or opened doors for you or vice versa. That there is a need or a want or desire for some of them to apologize to you, Sagittarius, but the others are not necessarily so willing because of this energy that they know or they feel or they understand that they've had to, at the deepest level, accept that there was something going on that was more than they could handle, right? And they have to heal from it. They can't bring this energy forward with them, or they would be doing themselves a great disservice, right? Bottom of the deck, I see the Seven of Cups in the reverse. This is a clarity. This is a cloud clearing, the delusions rolling away, getting getting a clearer picture of where they're going. You know, the road is kind of narrowing. They had all these choices, they had all these opportunities, but now there's just whittling down to like one or two. You understand? And it's becoming they're able to focus and become a little bit more forward moving at this time. So right now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull 3 cards for the summary because I'd like to go ahead and pull this reading back to you, Sagittarius, who, I mean, in your future, it's also showing you that you should be healing from some heartbreak at this time. All right, 3 cards for a summary, please, from my Sagittarius. Let's ask the tarot. Ace of Cups. This sounds good. Queen of Pentacles in reverse, however. And there's that Two of Wands. All right. So whereas you feel a little bit more open, it seems like there's going to be some your path won't be as clear and cut in front of you. Like there's still some questions, there's still some wishy-washy. This is the perfect opportunity to seize and move forward and heal from this. But some of you won't. Like I said, just like some of the people that you're dealing with will just reach out and want to make that step forward and apologize. But you'll be able to clearly see that it was a very shallow connection. Whereas the others won't be so inclined to apologize. It could actually take your focus off of your healing and push you into more of an expectation where you're going back and looking at the past. You understand? Because with the Ace of Cups, Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and the Two of Wands in reverse, there's a lot of energy, even though there's this new overwhelming spring of clarity in emotions and an ability to seize that clarity and emotions for yourself. And the Queen of Swords right here in your subconscious. That there's going to be also the High Priestess in reverse and the need to cling to old past energies, right? The way I used to do things. There's some of you that will really have a trouble transitioning into this wide open doorway. I'm not necessarily going to blame the person that you're dealing with on their inability to apologize. I'm just saying that there is a possibility that the portion of your collective that does not get the apology so easily has more of an opportunity to fall back into this past instead of letting it catapult them to the forefront. So do keep that in mind in the month of October and try to stay on your toes about it. Yes, Sagittarius? So if you enjoyed the read, like, comment, subscribe. Do hit the bell if you want to be informed next time I upload. And Sagittarius, thanks for stopping by at Jive Tarot.